Could you be able to give us an update on some of the buildings that are currently not being utilised on campus? For example, what's happening with Commerce, Science and the Registry block?
Right, Commerce, Science and the Registry block in that order. Commerce is an interesting conundrum. The Commerce building has had substantial structural damage as a result of the earthquake. The current engineering reports that are being considered require the following work to be undertaken to remediate the Commerce building to the new building code. First, the deconstruction to ground level of the central core stairways, 3 lift shafts, electrical and mechanical services in the building, the deconstruction of the atrium to the ground, the strip out to concrete floor and ceiling and walls of all levels of all buildings for the injection of resin to return the concrete to its former strength, the removal of all exterior cladding from the building and replacement with lightweight cladding over which an exoskeleton in steel will be affixed. Total cost of this so-called remediation is between $40 and $45 million. The cost of a new building is estimated at $60 million. The insurers and the university are not in agreement as to what constitutes reinstatement. As a consequence, all work on the site, having had it made safe, is to be discontinued until we have an agreement with our insurers about what reinstatement entails, and in the absence of a commercially as well as architecturally acceptable form of reinstatement, in the absence of that, we need to find and develop medium-term options for the Commerce faculty. Secondly, in terms of the registry, we now have a scale and scoping document for the work on the registry, and although decisions have not been made, for about $4 or $5 million that building can be and will be remediated to the low-risk status, but it is likely that we may consider some repurposing of the ground floor and second floor level for more student-intensive activities. So that repurposing needs to be thought about. Only 3 of the 6 floors of that building had been strengthened prior to the earthquake. So it needs some pretty significant work, and we'll do that once we've agreed on what the scope of that work is. In respect of the Science Lecture Theatre block, that was a building that was non-compliant with the building code for fire egress prior to the earthquake, and work had been done on bringing it to code at an estimated cost of $12 million. Subsequently, there has been some minor damage to the building as a result of the earthquake. It's currently being used for storage. It's in no danger of collapsing, but building an entirely new building is likely to cost in the order of $18 million. Again, further deliberation is needed on that structure. Other buildings that we currently don't use, the Pourewa building down at the College of Education campus at Dovedale is a building that sank and twisted on its axis. The insurers assume it can be remediated for several $million. We think it may or may not need replacing. That conversation with the insurers is continuing. The UCSA building, Erin's probably better placed to give you a brief update on that one.
So in terms of the UCSA building, that's something that negotiations in terms of discussions are still in early stages in that. Obviously, and most of you will have heard across the point that that building is jointly owned between the UCSA and the university. So the question of what happens to that building is one that requires really close consultation and work with the university, which the executive are currently undergoing, and we hope to have an answer over the next few months, obviously in consultation with the student body as well.